All right, welcome everyone to this Photoshop tutorial on creating an animated GIF for a web banner. If you're just coming in now, we just hit record. So we've resized this with the crop tool, just a preset crop. All right, 300 by 600, so 300 pixels wide by 600 pixels tall. All right, and it's 72 pixels per inch. If you want to follow along, just open up some kind of image that you want to use. All right, it can be whatever image. The idea for this image would be it's an advertisement on the right-hand side, like a sidebar on a WordPress site. Okay, so we have the right size here, and what we want to do is go to Window, and then Timeline. In CS5 and I think even CS6, it was Window then Animation, but now it's the Timeline panel. And just create a frame animation. So if you have that in the middle, just make sure it doesn't say create video timeline. You want to do create frame animation. All right. So it has one frame by default, one layer by default in the layers panel. If you don't have that, make sure you go to Window, then Layers, and also Window, then Tools to bring that up. All right. So first thing we're going to do is duplicate this frame. So add a new frame. It looks like the create a new layer icon on the bottom of the layers panel, but it's on the bottom of the timeline panel. All right, so I'm going to press Control J on the PC or Command J on the Mac. I'm going to duplicate this layer, this original layer, so that we add an effect to a duplicated layer instead of the original layer. And then I'm just going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and then I'll just do a 4-pixel radius. All right, and there we go. We've got 2 frames so far. And you can, I'll just show you how this works. Let me just do a 2-second delay on this, and I'll hit play. And there's that frame for 2 seconds. There's that frame 2 seconds. Notice they're both blurry, though. I got to go to the first one and uncheck the icon. There we go. Let's see, and then recheck it on the new one. All right, so there's the first one, and then there's the second frame. So there's a 2-second delay. That's very basic frame animation. Pull this over so you can see it. There you go. All right, so I'm going to stop that. And so now I'm going to duplicate this frame again. So duplicate frame. And then I'm going to add another blur. So I'm going to filter, blur. Actually, I'm going to press Command J. I'm going to just work on a new layer. That's best practices. Keep duplicating your layers. So filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And I'll just blur this a bit more. I'll do the same thing again. Control J. Gaussian blur. All right, so it's really blurry. All right. So now we have 4 frames. We can go back and uncheck whatever layers we don't want to be visible, and then which ones we want to have visible. So this first frame is the least. I'm going to switch this to ½ a second each, so it'll show what we have so far. So if I go to ½ a second, all right. All right, that was just once. If I set it to forever instead of once, press play. There we go. There's our basic animation so far. It's just going from tack sharp in focus to slightly out of focus because we added one blur effect, and then a little bit more out of focus, then way out of focus. All right, so I'm going to stop that. And I'll create another frame. And on this one, I'm just going to add some text. So just add some text up here. Check out. All right. Add another one. Check out our stock photos. Now this is not a good, I'm not saying this is designed well. I'm just showing you the technique, okay? I'm at least going to align it. Okay. So, and with this one, I need to go back and uncheck. I don't want the text on all these. All right. Just got to double check these. I do want it on this one and then that one. All right. And this one, what's cool about this is we can add, yeah, you can select them all at the same time. Like if I hold shift, if I click the first one, click the last one, like Tom or like Ben said, I can change it to 5 seconds, half second, whatever. All right. You can also click in the top right-hand corner of the panel and there's select all frames. It's grayed out because I already have all of them selected. All right. Well, what's neat about this is I can delay this. So you think about it, you know, you got this photo, this photo, this photo, this photo, this photo. You want it to delay on the message, right? Obviously. So we'll delay that, say 2 seconds. All right. And you could put a click here or whatever down at the bottom. So I have it set to forever. If you want it to only, go from the first frame to the last frame and then stop, then you want to just do once. Or you can have it 3 times or custom. That's on the bottom. I know it's kind of small on the screen, but the bottom left-hand corner of the other window, just go to other and you can do a custom one. All right. So I'll hit play and then there's our animated GIF so far, the first example. All right. And then it pauses for 2 seconds. So it's a half-second delay and then 2-second delay at the end with our message on it. All right. Now, how would you save this? Well, you need to save it as a GIF, a GIF. Some people say GIF, some people say GIF, whatever. You need to go to File and then Save for, let's see. Well, yeah, let's see. Save for Web. So it used to be File, Save for Web. I'm so used to that. But now you have to go to File, Export, and then Save for Web, Legacy. You can also export, but where it says GIF 128 dithered, I would just keep it on that. You don't want JPEG. You save it as JPEG, it won't have animation. All right, it's got to be GIF. All right. You can also, adjust some of these other settings if you want, but the default should be fine. And then you just hit save. You can hit preview, and it'll preview it in a browser, right? And it gives you even code and stuff like that. But you see the settings. If you don't like it, you can bump up the settings if you want. But that's our animated ad. Okay. I want to go over next how to do kind of a Cinemagraph effect. It's a little bit different. All right. Let's see. Does anyone have any questions so far? Oh yeah, we got a question. So could I blend, say, a crappy photo, then animate to a good photo for bright? Yeah, so you could you could compare and contrast. That's some things people do in advertising. Show something kind of basic, and then show something a lot more advanced. All right. And by the way, y'all, I have let me link to this real quick. I think it should work. I have let's see. Here's a link. If y'all want to be updated on and get a email when I release the advanced social media advertising course, just go to this link right here and you can click on free course and get a free Photoshop course right away. Then you'll be on the mailing list, and you can always unsubscribe if you're not interested. But that page actually has some, I'm running a sale on my Udemy course. If you're interested, there's some Photoshop courses. There's like a 5-hour kind of, Tom. I mean, I have about, I don't know how many I have. Let me see right now. I just got started last year on Udemy. I've almost got 49,000 students so far. I have one freelance writing course and then a bunch of Photoshop courses, InDesign, Illustrator. I have like a really large logo design course. It's like 6.5 hours because I used to work in advertising, newspaper advertising. I was managing editor at 2 graphic design magazines at Kelby Media Group. And then I teach graphic design now at a local university. I was thinking of trying it out for some Photoshop class. Yeah, if you go to that link, Tom, you can get a free course right now. It'll email you a course, like a coupon code for my intro to Photoshop course. It's a little bit more basic. It's kind of meant for people who've never used it, but you might learn stuff along the way, or you can skip along. You can skip sections. If you already know a lot about masking, you can skip the masking section, for example, or the selection section. But that link, if you just click get a free Photoshop course up at the top that I posted in there, then you can just get the first course for free if you're interested. I'm working right now on one on animated GIFs and cinemagraphs, which I'll show you how to do. Let me show you how to do a cinemagraph. Let me see a good, I think it would actually be good to use a video in this. Let me see real quick. Because it's easier to just import a video and then you just take certain frames of it and create a cinemagraph. Let's see. Or I could, well, it just depends on what kind of image you want to make. All right. You can take some that move only a certain part of it. Let me see. Let me find this real quick. Let me pull this over. Sorry about the delay. I just got to find these support files real quick. Okay, animated GIFs. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Okay. Anime GIFs. Let me find a good set here to use. Oh wait. So okay. Another question. As you might think, you always learn. Yeah, I use I have a MacBook and I have a PC. I mean, I like Camtasia for my YouTube channel, which I'll post my YouTube channel if you're interested. My primary one on Photoshop. Camtasia works a lot better on PC, but I like the MacBook too. I mean, I like both the PC and the Mac. It's just whenever I do my tutorials, I haven't tried ScreenFlow yet. I have Camtasia for Mac, but it's not as good. I should probably try that out. I know that QuickTime, if you have the premium version, you can also do screen recording as well. All right, so I've got some photos here I took with burst mode. I will show how to do a cinemagraph. Let me see here. To sort animated GIFs. Okay. All right, I'm just going to put that on the desktop so it's easy to find. Oh, let me see here. Oh, no. All right. What? Let me see. Let me just copy this over. All right, sorry about the delay. Yeah, QuickTime. Oh, okay. Yeah. Even the version that you can record on, that's pretty cool. All right. So for Cinemagraph, if you don't know what a Cinemagraph is, let me show you a couple examples real quick. Cinemagraph. Oh, I didn't spell that right. Okay. So Cinemagraphs. Hopefully you can see that. Constantly looking over to the other screen. All right. All right. So this is cinemagraphs.com if you want to open that up in another window. But it's basically, the idea is it is an animated GIF. I mean, this is a GIF file. If you copy the image URL and looked at it, yeah, it's a GIF. All right. It's called a Cinemagraph because it's a lot more artfully done. It's not like those cheesy 90s animated GIFs. And the idea is that the whole photo is static except just one part of the photo, right? So let me pull this down a little bit so you can see. Like if you go to cinemagraphs.com and go to, like NYC, this one right here is really cool. That's one of my favorites. The whole photo is static except the reflection of the taxi in the window is moving, right? Or right here, this is one of my favorites. Whole scene is just one photo. And then right there in the middle, the person flipping the newspaper pages is moving. So how do you do that? Well, there's just really one extra step to do that in Photoshop. So we'll go over that. All right. So I'm going to close this out, or I'll just leave it there. It doesn't matter. What we need to do is stack a bunch of photos that you've taken in burst mode. All right. So, or you can take video frames. All right. So you can import a video. So file open a video in Photoshop. Yeah. Thanks, Tom, for posting that in there. Or you can shoot in burst mode. So I'm going to show you how to open something in burst mode. Okay. So animated GIFs. So I've got a bunch of photos from Photoshoot, and I'm going to just show you one of them, just show you what I mean. So I took this photo of this, I keep the layers panel over there. All right. Like a koi pond or whatever you call it at this park. And I did burst mode. So it's just a bunch of photos over and over and over, right? Almost like a video. The problem is this would be very tedious if you went file open, then move it over with the move tool or copy and paste it over onto a new layer. So because what we need is we need all these photos as layers in one file. So I'm going to show you a shortcut. All right. Yeah. So the iPhone as well. You can use the iPhone. I used a Canon. It's probably a 7D for these photos. So what you do is you go to File, and then you've got scripts. So if you see that, let me move this over a little bit. I'm kind of off the screen a little bit here. I want you to be able to see the menu. All right, File. All right, there we go. Then Scripts, and then Load Files into Stack. Well, what does that mean, load files into stack? Well, you're taking a bunch of photos and you're stacking them into layers. All right, because that's what we need to do. All right. So, and I have a YouTube tutorial on this. I use the same exact photos that you can check out on my channel. But this is being recorded as well. So File, Scripts, Load Files into Stack. All right. Then you go to Browse, and you just find the files that you need to bring in the stack. All right. So if you're just joining us, I did an animated GIF banner ad, basically a side ad for a WordPress site that'll go in your sidebar. All right. I just did a couple steps about making, and I'm recording this, you can look at it later, but so we made a photo slightly blurry, like 4 frames or so, and then we added some text. Right now, I'm just showing people how to use photos from a burst mode. So a bunch of different photos. We're going to simulate movement, but we're going to make a cinemagraph, all right, where one part of the photo is moving, but not the rest. All right. So I need to go through and find, I'm just going to choose maybe about about 8 of those. Okay. So we got 8 of those photos. I could do more, but I don't want to make it super complicated. Then I hit open. And so I've got all these files here, right? All these files there. add open files. Whoops, sorry. I want to remove that one. I don't want to add open files, actually. Click the wrong thing. All right, so then just hit OK. And I'm just waiting. It's just automating it for me. All right, so now you can see, and if you missed that, you just go to File, Scripts. If you're just joining us, File, Scripts, Load Files into Stack. You take a bunch of photos you've taken with a burst mode. So a plane is flying through the air to air show. You do burst mode really quick. Or in my example, I've got fish in a koi pond, burst mode, almost like a video, okay? So load file scripts and then load files into stack. So you'll notice I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 files here in a stack. All right, so if I press the eye icon that makes the layer visible or not to toggle the visibility, you'll notice we've got some simulated movement here, right? And this is pretty simple, but I'm just pressing the icon to toggle all the layers. All right. So how do we, well, to make a, animated GIF that's very basic, like we just made in the first lesson, all we would do is create frame animation and then just uncheck, duplicate, uncheck, duplicate, uncheck. There's one more step that we need to do. We're creating an animated GIF that is called a cinemagraph because we're gonna only have one area moving. All right. So what we need to do is create frame animation. All right. So now we've got our first frame at the bottom. If you can't see because of that sound icon, let me pull it up a little bit. All right. So we've got this here. And if we wanted this to be just a basic animated GIF without any cinemagraph look, we would just uncheck that and then duplicate it. All right. But we don't want to do that. What we want to do is decide what area we want to be dynamic, what area should be moving, and what area should be static. So for this example, I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you. And I'm going to hit tab so it just removes the panels temporarily. You'll notice we've got some nice area here with this fountain. I think I'm going to make that area moving. And so I'll have nothing else moving but the fountain. All right. So, and that's just another tip, Photoshop tip. If you hit tab, it'll remove the panels, the visibility temporarily. So we need to add a layer mask to this top layer. All right. So the layer mask is, if you hover on the bottom of the layers panel where my mouse is, it looks like a rectangle, a white rectangle with a gray circle in the middle. Just press that. And then you want to paint some black in. So choose the brush tool. Make sure you got a normal brush, not a custom brush like I have here. You do a normal brush and then make sure hardness is set to 0%. You want a nice soft edge brush. All right. So see how my brush, it's just way too tiny. You can change the size up at the top or right bracket. All right. Hey, Libby. Yeah, welcome. I was saying earlier, really quick before I continue, if you want to sign up, I have a free Photoshop course. If you just go to this URL and then click on the button at the top that says get a free Photoshop course, and then it'll email you a free coupon for my Udemy course. It's like a 3-hour getting started in Photoshop course. But all right, so I want to paint some black in because this is a mask. The word masking comes from old school photography. It just means erasing, but it's non-destructive erasing. Oh, I'm Chad. I haven't even said that this entire blab. I forgot about that. So my name is Chad Newman. I teach at a university, graphic design and photography, digital journalism too, like magazine design, because I used to work at magazines, 2 graphic design magazines, newspapers, an advertising agency, and I've done freelance for years. So I have a Udemy channel. You can go to that link to check that out, but and a YouTube channel as well. So yeah, so that's the idea, is that I just provide some free value for people. and I think this is useful because people, I think they like the animated GIF to use for their site, like maybe an ad to grab your attention. But this one's more subtle. The one I'm doing right now is more subtle, and people actually, it might actually move more effective. All right. So the next step, you want to paint some black in. So how to mask work? I'm going to press the right bracket. So what you want to do is this area here. Yeah, you can see that. I'm going to paint black. All right. So it shows through right where this water is going to be flowing. All right. And then that's it. All right. So if I Alt on the PC or Option on the Mac, click the eye icon, you'll notice I masked it out. How to mask work? Well, let's paint white in. Make sure the foreground color is white. It brings it back. That's why we mask. We don't erase. When you erase it, you have to go to Edit Undo, or you have to go to the History panel to undo what you just did. So instead, we're going to mask. So, because you can edit it. All right. You're welcome, Libby. So I'm going to paint black in just like I did. Oh, actually, that's preferred because now I can see where we're going to mask out. Okay. So now I can't see all the other layers, and that's fine. All right. So if I toggle the visibility, they're all there. But so the first one, all we do is we want these top two layers, visible. Because if you'll notice, I keep wanting to press this other. I got my MacBook over here. I keep wanting to point to the screen. Up at the top, it's a image with a mask attached to it right here. And then the one below it has no mask because we're not erasing anything. So now what we need to do is create a new frame right there. And then, the course for free, it's actually, if you go right there and click, thanks, Libby. If you click get a free course up at the top. So I have my other courses there. I'm running a sale, but if you just want a free course, just click the top button at the top. It says get a free course. There you go. Image upskill. So that's the direct link to it. It's mailing us to be notified of my animation course that will come out too, and my graphic design course. And you can unsubscribe at any time. I actually haven't even emailed it yet in 2 months. I've just been collecting email addresses to let them know about my really large magazine. Well, not magazine design, more graphic design course that's coming out. That Adobe link, that's just to buy it. And if you're a student, you can actually get a good discount, or if you're a teacher, you get a discount. Or if you only want Photoshop, just get the Photoshop / Lightroom package. It's a lot more cheaper. All right. Or it's a lot cheaper than the entire Creative Cloud. The entire Creative Cloud has InDesign, which is magazine design production. It has Illustrator, which is for logo design. I have a course on that. So if you want the whole Creative Cloud, like including After Effects and all that, then you can do that. But it's a little bit more expensive, the monthly subscription. But the cool thing is that you can cancel it. If you decide, I don't want to do Photoshop, I don't care, you can cancel it. Then you're not out, $800 or $2,000 or whatever it used to be when you just bought it outright with CS6 or CS5. All right, so these top two layers, you'll notice when I did that, I had the top one that's masked out. Yeah, sure. Let me show you real quick. Sorry, guys. Let me give you the direct link to the free course. It should email it to you after you sign up there. If you just enter your email there, and then it will direct you to the free coupon on Udemy. It's like a 3-hour course. We've got like 35,000 students in there. It's great. There's people from all over the world. It's very basic, though. I mean, if you already know a lot about Photoshop, it might not help you too much, except it might show you some shortcuts and some tips on masking and selecting. But so check that out. Yeah, that's a good point by Tom, too. If you get the Creative Cloud, you also get the updates. So you get like the 2015 update has the really cool dehaze effect. You can take, I scuba dive, so I want to take some of my underwater photos and dehaze them. All right. So let's go ahead and do the next step. What you want to do, the top one, we have the frame here. So you'll see the difference. No, there's no difference yet. We need to uncheck this one and then check that one. All right. So see the difference? I'm just checking that. So what you want to do is that's the next frame, create a new frame, then uncheck that and make this the visible layer. All right. Create new frame in it, frame, make sure it's that one. So what I'm doing, I'll do this slowly, all right? Yes, I am. So duplicate the selected frame, uncheck this icon, check this icon. Does that make sense? And I'm recording this so you can go back over it, but duplicate selected, uncheck that, uncheck that. Duplicate selected, uncheck that, uncheck that. All right, so I'm gonna do a 0.2, I'm gonna select them all, do a 0.2 delay there. I'm gonna press play. I'm gonna set it to forever instead of just once. Okay, cool, thanks. Play animation, and then there we go. There's our Cinemagraph. Now, does it look as cool as some of the ones on cinemagraphs.com? Well, no, because I'm actually working on a course. It's going to be an advanced Cinemagraph course, best practices when you're taking photos. But this is the technique, though. All right, so this is the technique. Still looks cool, but you know, I'm doing this literally in 15 minutes or whatever. All right. So let me pause that. All right. Does anyone have any questions so far as this technique? Let me pull this over. The idea is that if you look at this timeline panel at the bottom and you look at this layers panel over here, the only difference between this and a basic animated GIF is that on the top layer, which covers up the layers below it, of course, right? It's got a mask. And wherever it's black, I'm going to alt-click it here. All right, so see, this is the mask. If you alt-click or option-click on the mask, it will show you what the mask looks like. All right, so I have a mask right here where that water is. All right, then the layer below it is just a normal layer. And then, so you create one frame that's like that, right? You create another frame that's like that. You create another frames like that, and so on. So you have one right here, visible up at the top at all times. It's always visible at the top. Then you just toggle so that only one of these is visible at a time. Every time you create a new animation, okay? Let's see. Is this saying audio only for the Good Creative Academy one? I can't see my screen now, so I might need to restart. Let me see. Okay, I'm still on that one. All right, let me just restart. All right, should be back. All right, if for some reason it says audio only on the screen one, or me, I mean either one, you can just restart the browser. You can just click enter up on the address bar, and it'll reload it. I've had that problem with people. It says internet connection. Okay, and you just hit enter, and you'll just have to, if you're on camera, you'll have to, open the seat again. But if you're not, just hit enter. Oh, duplicate tab. Okay. What are Cinemagraphs that talking about last time? Yeah, so that's what I was showing right now is the idea to create a Cinemagraph is, I'll create another one while we're here. Let me close this out. Don't need that. Oops. And you would create that, again, just like the other one. Yes, I am. Using the built-in camera on my Mac, and then I've got my green screen in the background for I'm not doing like a chroma key or anything. It's just my studio. I'm using a Blue Yeti mic. All right, Blue Yeti mic, and then a PC, like a HP for the Photoshop, because then I have my MacBook here. All right, let me show you that again. So if you're just joining us, I'm going to show you how to make a Cinemagraph. If you're not sure what that is, if you go to cinemagraphs.com, there's some really cool ones there. And the idea is it's an animated GIF, except only one part of the image moves. All right, so only part of the image moves. So what you want to do, I'll do this one a little bit quicker. You go to File, Scripts, and then Load Files into Stack. All right, they're kind of like videos. They're GIFs, so it's a GIF file. It's really an image file. Go to Load Files into Stack, and then you go to Browse, and you find some images to use. So these are from a class I was teaching. I'll do one that's a little bit different. All right, so I'll do, let's see. I think these right there. All right, so they all load up, and then you hit OK, and then you just wait, and it stacks all those images in for you into layers. So the idea is that you take burst mode. All right, you take photos with burst mode, and wait for this to come up. At the layers panel. There we go. All right, so here's my layers panel. If I press the eye icon, you notice it kind of moves there, right? So that's the idea. The problem with this one is, what would you have moving and what would you not have moving? You know what I mean? But this technique is the same though. If you want to I'll just create a basic animated GIF with this one. All right. So you go to Window and then Timeline, create frame animation. And all you would do is create new frame, uncheck the eye icon on the top one, create a new frame, press the icon of the next one. And you just keep doing that, you know, till you get all the way down to the bottom of the layers panel. Right? And then eventually you can just press play. I'll add some kind of delay to this. So I select all those, I held shift. I'm going to just do 0.1 second delay, and then I'll press, and then there we go. All right. I'm going to press forever so it just keeps looping. All right. And move that out of the way. So that's an animated GIF. So it looks like a video, right? So you could use this to create an ad. You could add text or whatever. So I'm going to pause that. All right. So let's just create another one. I'll close that out. All right. File, Script, Load Files into Stack, then Browse, and then let's see. I'm trying to find one where, let's try that. Well, I don't think those will work with, I'll try another one of the koi pond, but let's just try the bottom. I'll try the bottom half. I'll do a bit more so it really stands out. All right. So this should look pretty cool. All right, so that's stacking in. Just waiting for it to stack. It's doing it on its own. It's taking all those photos, stacking each individual photo as a layer. All right, it's almost done. And again, the thing is we're masking the top layer. That's the only difference with the Cinemagraph. All right. Okay, so they're all stacked in. You can see them here. This is why you don't want to just open them all and move them together with copy and paste. That would take a long time. Instead, you just stack them. So I'm going to Window and then Timeline. All right. Create frame animation if it says create video line, just click that down arrow and make sure it says create frame animation. All right. Then create frame animation. And we got our first one here. Let's add a mask to it. Remember, we got to mask out part of it, erase part of it, but we're not erasing, it's masking. So add layer mask and just paint some black. This one, let's do the opposite. Let's just paint black all around here. I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. I just alt-clicked that one. I just want this whole area to move, and then the fountain not to move. All right. So I'm masking out that right there. All right. So this is not going to move. All right. Now the top two layers are visible for the first frame. Add new. Let me pull the layers panel over so you can see it. Add new frame on the bottom of the timeline panel. Then uncheck that icon of the second to top layer, and you want to check the icon of the third to top layer. All right. Then create new frame. So we're going to repeat that process. All right. The top frame is always visible, or the top layer is always visible. All right. So that one, see it so far? All right. So on this one, duplicate the frame, make this one visible. Duplicate the frame, make this one visible. Duplicate the frame. So we're just repeating that. All right. If you can't remember if you did that already, just go back a step. Duplicate the frame. All right. Just have a handful more here. Repetition is helpful without being redundant to learn something, but I'll try to hurry this part up here. All right. We've got two more layers. This is going to be a large file if we actually save this. That's another thing to consider, file size, but anyway. Now you'll see this timeline here. All right, we've got 19 frames. All right, so this is larger. I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to go and change this to 0.1 seconds. I'm going to move this layer out of the way, and I'm going to move this down here so you can still see it. Let me actually zoom in a little bit so you can see this better. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to press play. Make sure it's going to loop. Press play. And then there's our animation. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a pretty cool Cinemagraph, I think. The fish are moving. Let me zoom out so you can see the whole thing. The fish are moving, but the fountain's not. All right. So I made that really quick right here. Again, if y'all are just joining us, if you want a free Photoshop course, just go to this link here, and then you can sign up. I actually haven't even emailed that list yet in 2 months. I've just been building up my graphic design course that I'll let everyone know about once it's launched. But that'll give you a code for a free Photoshop course. All right, if you're interested, if you've never used Photoshop before, I think it's really helpful. We've got people from all over the world on that course. We'll probably be wrapping this up soon. Does everyone have any questions on animated GIFs or cinemagraphs yet so far? You can actually hop on the open seat if you want. I haven't been keeping an eye on that. I don't know if anyone's tried to jump on. If so, I apologize if someone tried to jump on and then it was ignored. It should be at this URL at the top of the browser. As I understand it, I'm kind of new to Blab because Blab is new, but I think you can see it there because I've been recording since I started the techniques. All right. So it should be available, and probably on my, I assume on my profile here, it'll have recorded Blabs. Oh, cool. All right. So I have some current Udemy students on here already. All right. Does anyone want to hop on and ask any questions about Photoshop or InDesign even, or Illustrator or logo design? I've worked at an advertising design firm. I've done freelance logo design. I can answer any questions you have on those topics if you want. Otherwise, I'll probably thanks, Tom. Yeah, I have on the Udemy, on that link, if you click on take awesome online courses, I've got a sale going on my portrait photography, multiple ways to do artistic black and white conversions, industry standard Photoshop retouching techniques. It's like 6 hours long. It's a huge resource. And then I have a free Photoshop tools course that you don't need a coupon code for. It's just free. Then the intro course, you can get the coupon code through that site. And I have an InDesign course that people have actually used to create books that they sell on Amazon. This lady from Hawaii actually she mailed me a couple of her books through the mail that she had created after learning InDesign in my class, which is pretty cool. I teach InDesign at a local university as well, a class called Magazine Design Production. But if you go to that, let me see here. If you go to that site and just click on free Photoshop course and pull it up over here. Okay, up at the top, I mean, there's my online courses, and I'm running a sale. Some of these are $199, but I had it as $99 originally. But you can get those for $15 to $25 if you're interested. But instead of buying this one here, just click up at the top and go to free course. So if you just want the free course, click up at the top right here at Good Creative Academy. And the idea is that all these courses are by professionals who have experience in the field, logo design, advertising design, and professors. So people have experience in teaching too. So I co-taught one with a professor actually from Italy on the creativity course. But this is just some information on a course I'm working on now. This is some of my students' magazines, some screenshots of their magazines they designed. I got their written permission to feature their magazine designs on here and in my course. I give them as good examples, like top of the top, basically the best of the best, in other words. So that says 14,000, but I actually have about 45,000 students on Udemy. So it's growing pretty quickly. I'm getting a lot of people in my courses. And then if you click on YouTube right here, that goes to my YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe or let people know, I'm trying to put a tutorial up every Tuesday on there. So a free tutorial on Photoshop. I'll occasionally do Illustrator and logo design courses as well. I have about 19,000 something subscribers on YouTube so far on that channel. We're about to hit 20,000. So my goal is, try to get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I just need to update it more often, add more, tutorials, Photoshop tutorials on a regular basis. So I'm also working on a course that might be helpful for people in social media marketing. It's going to be looking at the scientific research and then hands-on activities to put it in practice. But it's going to all be about using Photoshop to create effective online ads. So not just animated GIFs that we went over today, and some won't even allow animated GIFs. It's going to be looking at what kind of color differentiation has been proven scientifically to get more people to click on your YouTube thumbnail, for example. So you have more YouTube subscribers, or your Facebook ad and all that. All right. How do you see Blab? Well, hopefully being on Blab, I'll have more people subscribe to my YouTube channel and see the value they can get from the YouTube channel and my Udemy courses. And I think it's kind of fun just to do live question and answer and also Photoshop tutorials. So does anyone have any questions while I'm here? You can grab an open seat. Let me see if anyone has requested. I haven't been keeping that up. it should be an open seat the way it works. But if anyone wants to jump on, let's see. I'll just keep that open up there in case someone wants to jump on. All right. Or you can ask questions. Okay, my primary account is the other one. I don't know if it's over there for me, but yeah, I should do a regular blab. I want to come up with an interesting topic though. I don't want to blab just to blab. You know, I want there to be value when I'm on here, where I'm teaching something valuable for people. So yeah, that's for my portrait photography course. That's the default Twitter. I guess it takes our image from our Twitter. So the Good Creative Academy is my primary Twitter. And then my Photoshop tutorials, I also have a YouTube channel for that, but I just started it. It's only got about 130 subscribers so far. The other one has like 20,000. Canva, I haven't really got into too much. I don't think, you know, I don't want to say anything bad about it without trying it. All right. I think most designers, though, graphic designers, would agree that if you're working in the industry, either freelance or at an ad agency or like a newspaper or at a magazine or a web design company, you're going to need to know Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign at least. Newspaper, yeah, yeah. A lot of them are going online, so they're trying to monetize their content. I worked in advertising design at a newspaper, but then I went over to work at 2 magazines at Kelpie Media Group before I started teaching at a university. How about basic Photoshop editing techniques? Yeah, I can show you a couple quick ones. I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do, but let's see. Let me get the portrait photo here. Just, all right, let's close this time frame out. Actually, I'll go to my history panel. This is cool. You don't have to go to edit undo. You can just go all the way back to history panel and just go to the very beginning. All right. So are you talking about portrait editing, Robert, or more landscape editing? Hopefully no one's tried to jump on. Okay, I don't think anyone has. Graphic designer. Yeah, so I would say learn the design principles, you know, alignment, aligning text, even basic things like that. They can really help if you're creating a flyer. Alignment, proximity, good spacing. I'm coming out with a graphic design course soon, so if you're subscribed to my mailing list, you should get an email within the next couple of weeks about that. But good color coordination, good typography. Just really, also you could job shadow someone, or do an internship or get a job at an ad agency, even if you're not doing design yet, that you kind of just see how it works. Photo edits from general photo. Well, it depends on what you're trying to do. So if you want to adjust a lighting, like that's a common thing that people want to do. If you go to image adjustments, there's levels and curves, but I would say use an adjustment layer instead. So if you, the bottom of the layers panel, it looks like this circle that is halfway filled. Let me bring this over a little bit. So if you click that and then go to, there's levels and curves. Let me move this around over even a little bit more. All right. Guys, I'm going to be right back. I have to get a bottle of water because I've been talking for about an hour now. So I'll be right back. People might jump in and leave if they think I'm not here, but if you can let them know, I'm going to grab a drink from downstairs. I'll be right back. All right. So be right back. Okay. Do it. Got about 17 people in here, so not that many people left, so that's good. All right. Let's see. Removing objects, removing the background. Okay, so if y'all are just joining us, my name's Chad Newman. I teach graphic design and photography at a local university. But I've worked in advertising, worked at two magazines as managing editor. I've done freelance web design, logo design, and I also teach on Udemy and YouTube different Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, logo design techniques, but not just techniques, but also the idea of visual aesthetics and a lot of the theory that is going to make you stand out, all right, when you're doing graphic design. So we talk about the technical side, but we also talk about the theory in my courses, because you really need both if you're working in design or photo editing. So we had a question about, removing the background, all right, from Robert. So a lot of people, when they're trying to remove a background, and this isn't the best photo actually, because it's got the hair, all right, so you need to do a really effective selections with the hair coming out like that. And I have that in my Photoshop portrait editing course. And I have some YouTube tutorials about more advanced hair selections, like refining the edge and things like that. Some people like to use channels, but I'll show you the basics. What you don't want to do is select pixels and then just delete them. You want to do a mask. All right, so I'll show you how to do that real quick. I had the layers panel open. If you have Photoshop open, just go to Window, then Layers. If you're following along, make sure you go to Window, then Tools to bring the Tools panel up. All right, so move this over a little bit. All right, so let's say I wanted to just have her showing up and then the background is not visible, like we bring something else behind it, all right? So first thing we need to do is we need to make this a regular layer, all right? So I can double click on it and hit OK, or I can click and drag that trash icon, whatever it is. I'm sorry, the lock icon down to the trash icon. So I could do that as well, and it makes a normal layer. Now if I delete pixels on it or whatever, like that, it deletes it. All right, you can see the checkerboard pattern. No, are you the one that got into trouble at Udemy for being on here? Not that I know of. I don't know why someone would get in trouble, unless they were using their copyrighted content. I don't know. I don't know why Udemy would care, because you're actually getting maybe they used, you know what? Maybe they used Udemy, their name, right? Maybe they use their name in the title of the Blab, and then it's a trademark. And if the average person would get confused that this was an official Udemy Blab, maybe that's why someone got in trouble. I'm not sure. That's the first time I've heard about that. But yeah, they wouldn't care if I'm doing Photoshop tutorials on Blab, because I'm actually, telling people about Udemy while I'm on here. Yeah, so this has been recording. We created 3 or 4 web banner, or actually cinemagraphs, 2 cinemagraphs, and some web banner ads earlier. Right now I'm just showing how to just delete background in Photoshop. So what you would do, if you wanted the background removed, you got to make a selection first. I'm going to work on a duplicate layer. So press Control-J on the PC, Command-J on the Mac. And I'm going to hit the icon of the bottom layer then. That's our original layer. We can just, if we mess up, we can pull from that and duplicate it again. It's always good to work on a duplicated layer. All right. Sure, Thomas, yeah. Or Robert Thomas. There it is. One person. And then if someone else wants to say hi on the one, there we go. Let me try. I don't know if I can hear though. Let me see if this will work. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hear everyone. If y'all say something for a test.
Yeah, dude. That's not.
Okay, let's see. I don't know if it's going to echo if it comes. Oh, let me actually. Okay. Is there an echo or anything?
No, you're good.
No echo? Okay, good. All right, so when you want to remove a background, you do selection first. All right, so I'm going to mute myself really quick. In case if y'all ask anything, I'm just going to do this technique real quick, and then I'll turn the volume back up. So we want to make a selection. So if I click for this one, I mean, this is going to be a lot of work. And just a quick selection tool. So click and hold and or press W. It's the quick selection tool. And I'm just going to select her. I don't know what kind of job it's going to do, though, because she's not too differentiated from the background. And it's like my processor is just, let me make it a little bit larger. Actually, you know what I might do, because it's messing up. Let me just do a basic lasso tool. You would take a lot more time on this, obviously, but I'm just going to do a quick selection here to show you the technique. All right, so ignore the edge. All right, if you wanted to ever modify the edge, you can go to Select, Refine Edge, and then you can do Smart Radius and all that. But I just did a really quick selection. All right, so what you want to do when you have that selection, add layer mask. All right, and now that's cut out. All right. The cool thing about this, instead of deleting pixels, you just use the brush tool, and as long as your foreground's set to black or background set to white, make sure it's the default here. You can paint black in, right? You can flip it or press the X to flip it, and you can paint white in, so it, removes it. So if I had another photo here, let me pull in a background here. I don't know how large this photo is going to be. So if I move that over, it's about the same. All right, so I moved it over with the move tool and I put it below it. And that's how you remove a background. Pretty simple, okay? That was a quick selection. So the side is not effective, all right? So you would take a lot more time either with the quick selection tool or lasso tool, or you could even use the pen tool and make a selection from it. Like this one, it would be a lot easier because there's a definite background to it. It just depends on the photo that you're using. Do they really pop out from the background? All right. So like something like this, you could even do a selection of a color range. If you go to select color range and then try to do something like that. See, I needed to make it come out even a little bit more, but anyway, then, now it's got the background. You could create a new color for the background, right? So that's a quick way to delete the background from a photo, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to link to those sites again real quick. My free Photoshop tutorials are there if you want to subscribe. And then if you want to get a free Photoshop course that I teach, just go right there. That's my old channel. I mean, it's updated, but my new one is linked on the right-hand side of it. It's I'm going to try to update this one regularly too. So it's just the Photoshop tutorials one. All right. All right, did y'all have any other questions? And if not, I'll close this out. I'll probably try to do another Blab. If you subscribe to me on Twitter or follow me on Twitter, I'll post it out. If you subscribe to my mailing list, or if you're on that Photoshop intro course that's free, then you can. I'll send an educational announcement out, so you get an email that we're going online. All right. All right. Thanks, y'all. We'll do another tutorial in a little bit. Let me. Yeah, just subscribe to my channel if you want, or check out the Udemy course that's free, and you'll get updates occasionally.